Hello everybody, it's hump day and it's so much warmer than it was just last week. So that gets me excited. Doesn't it get you excited? So here in Indiana, well hi, this is Bethany Drew with Stampin' Up. I don't even remember if I said that. But it's just exciting to me. Last week I sat in the snow and watched my son Jacob's lacrosse game, and just yesterday he had another game, and even though it still got chilly when the sun started going down, it felt way better. It started in the 40s, not the 20s. So I don't know. I'm just getting so excited about spring, even though, you know, with my son graduating, I don't want the days to be rushed. So I'm not counting down the days to summer like I normally am. But I still love spring. I love warmer weather. So I'm so excited to show you a couple really cute stamp sets that are in the catalog that you might miss if you're just browsing through, because I know there's so much to look at, and I've shown you so much fun so far. I know it's really hard to choose which ones are even my favorites as I start playing. I've really had fun with these stamp sets, so I don't know what to tell you. And there's fun techniques that I'm going to show you that even if you have other stamp sets, you may be able to do similar things with different sets too. So again, you guys know my main goal is that my videos would inspire you to take out your stamps and take out your paper and make cards and scrapbooks and little favor boxes and goodies that will bring smiles to people. So that's my main goal. So say hello if you're coming along, if you're joining me live. I love those of you who are able to join me live. And every once in a while Facebook gets weird and I can't see comments. So if you ask a question, if I see comments, I really try hard to answer them, but I don't know, for some reason the last couple times I haven't seen comments till like halfway through my video. So without any further ado, I'm going to show you which stamp sets I'm focusing on, but I'll show you kind of mixing in with some other stamp sets that we have, or even dies. So let me turn it around and we will get started. And you got a little teaser of some of the things I'm going to show you there. All right. Get that straight. Okay. Mostly straight. All right, so in our catalog, I'm going to focus on two main stamp sets that are in the catalog here. This one's called Eclectic Garden. I love the lined art stuff that you can color in. I'll show you some cool fun things. This one kind of shows an example of just using the little spooch stamp to kind of stamp over. So it's kind of a messy watercolored look. Or these are great to color in with your blends or watercolor, all kinds of things. So lots of different coloring options for this set. And I love the sayings. I just don't know what I'd do without you. Thanks so much. Sending bright wishes for a happy day. And a happy day, that could be birthday, that could be congrats, that could be anniversary. So I like that that's kind of general. And then I thought I had the other spot saved, but the other one is called Amazing Silhouettes. And it has a tree and a butterfly and like a little plant. I also am going to show you guys this Happy and Heartfelt. Hey Chris! Yay, glad some of you are joining me live. Happy and Heartfelt, this group of sayings is awesome. I can't get enough words. I love words. So Happy and Heartfelt, that's another stamp set I will show you with some of the cards. I know, there's just so much goodness to pick from. You can't go wrong with whatever you pick when you're browsing through the catalog. If you don't have a catalog, please let me know. I'd be happy to get one to you. So where did it go? Where's Amazing Silhouettes? Any of my friends know what page Amazing Silhouettes is on? I had it marked and then my sticky note fell off. I've shown you that. I've got that one. Cactus. I am going to show you this cute sporty one soon as lacrosse season has started and Colts starting. What? Where did it go? Okay, let me look at the bundles here. Amazing Silhouettes. Where are you? It is a bundle in here. Oh, wait, Nope, that's not it. It has, oh, there it is. What page is it on? I like that at the back of the catalog it has this, so here's all your bundles so you don't miss bundles, because when you buy the bundle you get 10% off. Remember that? Okay, page 40. Somehow I missed it as I was browsing by. Okay, I've shown you that set, and here is Amazing Silhouettes. Good afternoon, guys. And gals, friends. I should just say friends. That covers y'all. Okay, so this is just 3 images, 3 stamped images. And at first you may look at this and think, what would I do with this? But I'm gonna show you a lot of fun and how to use this. And more so than the stamped images, I am also a sucker for word dies. So I love that this has a thanks. You are an amazing, and they have the more intricate written one out, and then they have one that kind of blocks behind it, so you can see shadowing there. So there's 2 different dies for each word, you are amazing and the thanks. So very cool. I love the dies in here, and those are probably dies I will never get rid of, because you are amazing and thanks. I can use that forever. So first I'm going to show you the first one, Eclectic Garden. I'm going to be showing you today just a lot of show and tell too, because I just don't have time to show you how to make each one. But I still want to show you just the variety of what you can do with these. Now I also want to remind you guys, if you are using, I hope you can see the host code here. This host code is only good through tomorrow, through St. Patty's Day tomorrow. So any of you Irish, I have a little bit of Irish in me. So happy St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. Is that tomorrow already? Man, time is flying, I tell you. And I need to get a birthday card to my nephew. It's gonna get late. Are you shocked? But it's still gonna get to him. So this host code is what you use if you do an online order. Now, if you have a big order and it's $150 or more, do not use a host code. You will be your own hostess, and then you get free merchandise on top of your order. But if your order's under 150 and you go to through my site, thedrewdaily.stampinup.net, use this host code R4WE2TNM, and my mama is the hostess this month, so she would appreciate getting a few extra things. That's always fun for the hostess. So with this Eclectic Garden, I'm also using retiring, because we know every year one of our sets of in colors retires. And so this year, sadly, this Misty Moonlight color is gonna go. This Magenta Madness, this is a pretty bright, it's a cooler pink. I love this one too. Hey, Teresa. This Bumblebee color, I really love this yellow too. This is retiring as well. So I'm telling you to order these now. So whether you're a demonstrator or your customer, if you want more of these colors, or if you don't have the ink refills, get those now, because these run out before we even see a retiring list, because people know these colors are going. There's also Just Jade, which is green, which I'll show you a different card that I made in the Just Jade. That's a really pretty green. And the Cinnamon Cider is a cute, like it almost looks like cinnamony brown. So these colors are retiring. So I'm showing you kind of the same with this stamp set. I'm going to show you kind of the same sketch. So I'm using a very similar even pieces and idea, but how different you can make each one look. So this one I stamped with the cute little blueberry stamp in black memento. And then I came in and I used those little splotch stamps. So we have a smaller one, and then you have a bigger blotch that kind of can fit over any of the big leaves. There's one that has a bird with it too. And it does look a little more messy, so if you're okay with that look. So after I stamped the blotchy blue over the blueberries, I actually went in with my blends too to color in the berries to give it a little more detail. So this is the Misty Moonlight. I embossed the back with the Tasteful Texture embossing folder. And this is where these embossing folders just add so much texture too. So here's stepped up a little bit, and I just used our basic white, stamped it in black, and then I colored in with blends markers in my Magenta Madness. And then I added this pretty die from the art gallery bundle. And this die, I wanted to use this die because it really is a beautiful die, and it's in one of the bundles that is 20% off right now, guys. So don't forget, again, whether you're a demonstrator or your customer, there are 13 different bundles that are on a 20% off sale right now. And I have a feeling that some of them will be retiring. So get them while they're on a 20% off sale rather than just 10%. Again, some of the other bundles that are going, and I've shown you, there's this pretty Dandelion Wishes. There is also the Sunflower, Celebrate Sunflower bundle. I knew I had made more flowers with this sunflower. I love the sunflower. So beautiful, I love it. Ones I haven't showed you yet that I made a while back is this, oh man, what is it called? What's Cooking bundle? Something about cooking. I think it's called What's Cooking. But this bundle is awesome if you love baking and if you like handing out cookies and baked stuff. Here I made a spinner card with the bowl. Happiness is homemade for you with some veggies in there. And then that on top. How fun. And this one I made look like a cutting, kind of my butcher block, and then made it look like a magnetic strip where you hang your knives and your spatula. So it's got some really cool, I don't know if you can see the texture even on this cutting board. And then I just tied a little twine in the handle. It's a really cute set. And then it's got a couple sayings like What's Cooking. It's got the For You. Happiness is Homemade, I think, is one of the sayings in that set. So quick little advertisement because there's so many cute bundles that are on sale right now. Okay, so this one I just colored in with the Magenta Madness. There is a cool little stamped image that has these just little speckles too. So on each one of them, I don't know if you noticed, I stamped in the color that it matches. So I stamped the little speckles in the Magenta Madness. This is what I love about Stampin' Up! Is you can get everything. The ink, cardstock, you can get designer paper with the colors, you can get most colors, you can get the blends markers. This one, I stamped the little strip on some crumb cake because I used the brown twine, where this one I thought would be prettier on black. And I stamped in my white craft ink, and I used white twine as well with the white accent behind it. This one I used the honeycomb embossing folder from this catalog. And isn't it just cool how even just these different embossing folders, this one's becoming one of my favorite too. This one's the macrame, and you'll see that more in some of my cards. So this is the bumblebee color. And real quick, let's do, because I haven't stamped any cards using the little, I don't know, radishes or beets. And again, you don't have to use the traditional colors. We're gonna go purple. So I've just got a little piece of basic white, and then I also cut out some vellum. I cut out a circle one, but then I found my other layered circle dies, and they have a little scalloped circle on there too. I'm thinking I might use both of those behind my radishes too. So my card base is in. This is the Fresh Freesia. It's one of our in colors right now. This one's not retiring yet, which I'm so happy because I love Fresh Freesia. And I'm gonna put this in, I'm gonna use the honeycomb one again. Or, sorry, it's the 3D Hive is what it's actually called, but it does look like a honeycomb or a hive. And I'm telling you, the first reason that I wanted a die cutting machine was for these embossing folders. That is just so cool what that does to our paper. Isn't that awesome? So fun. All right, I think I'm going to, I don't know, do I want to do I think I want to do white twine tied around. And the twine is so thin, oftentimes it's nice to add the twine around it 2 times. So I wrap it around a couple times, make sure I've got more than enough that I need. And I want the knot to be somewhere in the middle. So I'm going to move that a little bit more. Because right away, already, the embossing folder has already done most of the work, right? We just added color, the same color on color of a border. If you struggle with bows, I highly recommend you hold that knot with your finger and try to get the ribbon through, and tie a knot first before you try tying the bow. Then that knot is kind of helping you hold that still. Oh, I hear my husband is home from fishing because he's his own boss. He could take a fishing day today. And he did show me they got a few fish, so that's always fun. All right, now that I've tied just that twine around there, I can put some dimensionals on the back here. And here again is the stamp set. If you're like, what is this? We're going to use this radish stamped image. And I love the font on all the sayings. Now when I add twine, a lot of times I'll at least try to get one dimensional right over that twine so it doesn't move. Then in each corner, this warmer weather has all of us just thinking spring, right? Something that I love about spring is finally seeing everybody come alive again, right? It's like in the winter, everyone hibernates inside their homes. I feel like I start seeing more people biking, jogging, walking to the parks. Isn't it fun to see more people? I love it. Okay, so there's just that embossed layer on top. Now we just need to stamp. If you like it to be a really crisp image, you could also use your stamparatus and stamp it a couple times, or just get it, make sure it's good and inked. The very first time I ink it up, I tested on scrap paper before. Now this is a photopolymer set. So like I've shared with you before, when you're using photopolymer, oftentimes it's good to use a foam, like a paper piercing mat underneath. All right. This black Memento pad is different than our other ink pads that are real squishy. This is like our old pads. So I press it a little bit harder, and I want to make sure it's good and inked before I stamp it down. And I'm going to use my 2.5 inch circle punch. There we go. To punch it out, but we can color it first. Let me get that covered. Let's see. I'm going to use light shaded spruce on some of the lines of the leaves. This is the fun of having lots of different colors too. Because that was light shaded spruce, and then this is light old olive, which are very different greens. But when you color over the shaded spruce with the old olive, it kind of blends it together. And then it just gives it shading. Really, you can't go wrong when you're mixing. I mean, I say that, I guess you could mix it with something totally different. But because they're blends, it'll blend it together and it makes it look cool because you've just shaded it together. So then you have different colors of green. So I'm going back over those shaded spruce spots because I just wanted those to be a subtle, like, shadow. There. And I don't know. I know the roots of radishes can look a little bit different, but that's fine. We're keeping it just green and purple. All right, now I'm using 2 lights of Highland Heather and then the light Fresh Freesia. So I want to color in the whole radish with the brighter of the 2, which is our light Fresh Freesia. And then I'll add some shading with the light Highland Heather. There, you see how, like, the different shade of color just adds just a little bit of shadow to it. All right, so now all we need to do is punch this out. And the 2.5 inch circle, let me see, come from the side here. Punches most of these out just right. Now I could just leave it like that, plain, or what I showed you before, this cute little splotchy thing just adds a little bit more dimension to it. It's fun. So in the Fresh Freesia, which is the color of my cardstock, I'm adding these little speckles that come right with the stamp set. Isn't that fun? Teresa, if Teresa's watching, she loves purple. I always do a little bit of purple. It happens to be one of my favorite too. Now, like I said, at first I just punched, or I cut out with my stitch circle, and you could just add that, but I like the scalloped border on that. I think that's pretty. And I don't know, I think I like both. I think I like the double look of the vellum too. So the vellum doesn't take a whole lot of adhesive. I want to make sure I can see all my scalloped border all the way around. And we'll put some adhesive on the back of the circle and center that. Move that over just a little bit. I can't move it a ton because remember I put a dimensional on there. And doesn't that look fun with just that little bit of vellum border adds a little bit. Thank you, Chris. You like the double vellum layer there? And I think I'll do the same as I did with the pink one, is just add my saying on a black piece. Isn't that so cute? Oh my goodness, these are so cute. And look at how like our embossing folders just add so much. Actually, maybe I haven't done a white banner. Since I have this white extra scrap, I'll just do white. And let's see, my thanks so much. I did want to show you the thanks so much is actually, it actually comes curved, but that's the fun thing when you have a photopolymer stamp. I was just going to show you that I just straightened it out on my block. So you can get it to be straight for a little bit. And that's really nice when you don't want it to be curved. You can straighten it out and it will stick on your block pretty straight. It wasn't perfect, but enough that I liked it. Okay, so I'm gonna stamp my saying, let's see, I've used sending bright wishes. I've used them all, I think. I just don't know what I'd do without you. I think I like the sending bright wishes for a happy day, because that really could be anything. It could be just because, it could be birthday. So that saying is fun. Now I haven't done this for a while because I've been having fun just cutting it at a slant. But remember, if you have a hexagon punch or the tailored punch, or even this triple banner punch, there are a few different punches that you can make a little banner edge too. I'm going to trim the top just a little bit more. That didn't look perfectly straight, but you guys know usually I'm not such a perfectionist usually. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right, put that in the center. And then when you look behind, I want to make sure I got plenty of room there. When you put it with your words up, then you can even test and see. Make sure you're not cutting off any of your words. Ooh, that flew up in you. Does that feel like 3D there? So that's the triple banner punch, but we also have, well, I think the hexagon punch is retired, but we also have that tailored punch. Then it's just, no, we don't want to cover that much. I think I'll just put this one closer to the bottom. And I'll put that on a couple dimensionals, and voila, you have a cute card. Not a ton of time. And then, like I showed you, if you're someone like me that doesn't like making the exact same card, but you want to make a bunch of birthday cards or whatever, then you can use all the images and make like a set of 10 or 20 in one sitting, and just use all those different images. And then if you know someone who likes a bird better, you can use that. If you know someone who likes pink better and always loves pink, you can send that. I have a friend who loves purple, and I always try to have purple in her, you know, so then you can still make it individual, and you don't have to make the same exact thing for a bunch. So isn't that cute? So those are a bunch of different ones made with that beautiful Eclectic. And I will show some more pictures of some cards because I just want to keep playing with this. I know some of you would stay and watch the whole time, but you know, when my boys start coming home from school, I do want to be available for them when they get home. All right, so that is Eclectic Garden. It is a beautiful, beautiful set. I love it. Now, the Amazing Silhouettes. This is cool. And again, you might look at it and be like, what? It does match with some dies that I usually have. And this is one of our rubber stamped images. But I usually have these hanging on one of my magnetic boards because I love words. So they're out. But just to show some of them. So they cut out, like I said, they cut out a more intricate, amazing U and R. And then like here's the more blotchy R. So that will slide and fit right inside of your bigger bubbled word. So I love how these work. I'll show you how they work. With a couple of cards I'll show you. All right, let's start real easy. Again, I'm not gonna do all of these. I wanna just show some show and tell, but this would be a great, and here's where I'm incorporating that other stamp set I said I would show you too. The happy and heartfelt, because it has a lot of sentiments, and there's a happy mom day, and this is says happy dad day. And what I did on this one was just took my tree and I started with the lightest color, and I took sponge daubers. I inked up my sponge daubers, and I just did rows of color. So I had yellow, and then I did the green on the bottom, and then from the yellow I mixed in the orange with, so again, just use sponge daubers and colored on the stamp with the sponge daubers different colors, and that gives kind of that sunset look. So it's one stamp, you just use multiple colors of ink. Isn't that fun? Really easy, and all I did was stamp on this designer paper that looks like stucco paint. And that's it. I just stamped that on there and then stamped Happy Dad Day, and it's got Misty Moonlight as a background. So super easy card. This took just a couple minutes to make. Always nice to have, fun and easy. Okay, now this one I wanted to show you just how I did it again. If you have just a ripped piece of paper, you can use that as kind of a stencil to have a ripped border then. And so what I did, and I saw example, but I didn't know exactly how they did it, but I did actually take my blending brush just on the edge to get that whole full edge. And then I just stamped this right over my stencil, and then did the same thing at the top. I just moved it to the top, used my blending brush, and then I stamped a couple more times. So it's kind of all blotched together, the leaves. This is all just in Just Jade. And this one's on vanilla actually. So just show you, it's not quite as bright as the white, but the vanilla looks cute too. And then I added these little, the brushed brass butterflies. And again, I usually just do 3. You don't have to go over the top. Then your elements last a lot longer too for lots of cards. And then I stamped the Sending Bright Wishes for a Happy Day, so that I used my stamp image from the other stamp set to finish off the saying. And I did emboss the back. So a little bit more layer, and I just did a little bit more of this stencil thing, but that's still a pretty easy way to do stuff. If you have scrap paper, you can just make a ripped edge. Pretty fun and easy to do. And this is still like a monochromatic, so the only ink I used was Just Jade. That's always a nice and fun way to make an easy card too, is when you have limited colors, you can do monochromatic stuff. Okay, I also wanted to show you a couple cards I made using different techniques. Here's that plant again, and again, here's what it stamps. It stamps out the negative. I stamped it pretty light, so pool party on pool party. And then I took my Misty Moonlight Stampin' Write marker, and I actually traced in the leaves and everything. So that I just traced myself. Because my tracing the first time around didn't look totally awesome, I went around just a second time, so you can see kind of double lines there. That to me always helps it to not look, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Here, I've got some double lines there. So I went over and traced it twice. And then I just used that, that leafy die that I showed you last week too. I added some scrap paper I found. It had a cut right here, but I was like, oh, that would make a cute little border. So then I added a little of that paper behind here too, and stamped that All Day Your Way, again from that Happy and Heartfelt stamp set. So again, man, the Big Shot makes really cool cards. I love it. So there's one. Here's another with that same background. So with a white card base, white background, again with that leafy die that just does that stitching leaf pattern. I love it. And then I had what I did with this, because you're like, well, how did you get the tree? It's so cool. It's so cool. So if you take your Versamark pad, which is just a sticky substance, and you heat emboss it, so you ink up the tree with your Versamark pad, you heat emboss it, and I put white embossing powder over it. Then I came in with my aqua painter, or your water painter, and I watercolored with a few different colors. And it's so cool how your embossing powder resists the color. So when you fill it in, you get the center of the tree, and you get the actual stamp, or the opposite of what you've embossed. So that's really fun. Then I just used a few different colors. And I actually just picked colors that I already had blotches from my club last week, and I still had them on the block. So I had leftover yellow and the pale papaya, and then the blue and the green, and I just used those colors together because I had them already on my block. And then I stamped Being Awesome is Just Your Thing. There's a lot of you that are awesome to me. I love you guys. So this one's for all of you watching today, whether you're watching live or you watch the replay. You guys are awesome. It's just your thing. So that's another cool way to use this if you are stamping if it stamps the negative of the stamp when you emboss it, then you can actually color in the inside of it. So that's another cool way to use the stamp set. And here are a couple more just show and tell. I made these cards, and again, simple. I used that, you can tell I'm loving that Hive 3D embossing folder, and just stamped the tree in one simple color, and then added that just on the center, tied some twine around it. On this one, I added some of those pretty little rhinestones. On this one, I added the cute little sea glass, which I think should be coming in soon. I know some of you wanted to order that sea glass, and I think it was not orderable until, I think it's on March 17th, so I'm pretty sure it's coming soon. Yay, those of you who wanted sea glass, it's coming soon. So purple and green, pale papaya, and the light soft seafoam. So many different colors you can use with these. I love them. Okay, this card is one of them I'm going to show you again too, and I'll show you how to make. And I might not finish the whole thing, but I'll show you basically how I made it. This was inspired by Tammy Wilson, who was one of our Stampin' Up! Artisan design on the artisan design team. And she's not this year, but she was for 2 years in a row, and I love her stuff. And so this was kind of inspired by her. And I loved how she stamped and then chopped it up. Now she chopped up just the tree, which I'll show you, and I'll do that. But here I just stamped it 3 times on a piece of white, and then I trimmed it up a little bit. And I just stamped this in one color, in polished pink. And then I used a ribbon, and I will show you, I'll show you how to make this fun bow that, again, I just watched a little video that Tammy Wilson did on making her fun little bows. And it's a little bit different than just making a regular bow. So I'm going to show you that too. So, hey, Holly, how is your shoulder feeling? Are you still one-handed? I'm amazed by all that you've been doing with one hand. Awesome. Love that you have a great cheerleader and helper and your husband too. But I'm sure, you know, when any of us women are down, our husbands also realize how much we do. And hopefully he's all the more thankful for all the things you do when you're 100%. Okay, so this one I used white, and this one I'm gonna do on vanilla. So just mixing it up a little bit. Yeah, you're still one-handed. For a couple more weeks. I hope it's not too much longer. I'm gonna go at 4 1/4. I'm just getting the score line for my card base here. And then this one is gonna fit right inside. I think I need to trim this side down a little bit. I'm going to use the macrame folder as I used with my white card. Again, here's the macrame pattern. It's so cute. Oh, through the end of March, Holly. You can do it. You can make it. All right, then when you slide it out of the folder, look at that. That's so awesome. Seriously, love our embossing folders. If you get a machine for the first time, the embossing folders are what you want to buy first, because all of them are like $8 to $10. So they are the least expensive thing you can get that work with the machine. So you can go crazy and get 10 of them. Or maybe just start with 5. I don't know. But I have almost all of the embossing folders. I love them. Oh, it's been such a busy month, but I'm starting to feel a little of the pressure relieving off of my shoulders. It's nice. I lectured for Women in the Word just on Tuesday, so that was just yesterday. Man, yesterday felt really long. And then because I had lectured and I spent a lot of time working on that, I asked a friend if they wanted to come and get their nails done. So thank you, Sarah. I went to Aqua Spa Nails in Chesterton. And Sarah, my friend, her and her husband own Aqua Spa Nails, and she did, look at how pretty I didn't even ask for it to special, and she made this little cute silver line under my French manicure. So I don't get my nails done very often, but when I do, it's fun to do something special and stuff that I wouldn't do on my own. I would never do a French manicure by myself. So now this one I'm going to go up and down rather than sideways. So we're going to try to make that work and see. I've got a bigger piece than I really need, but you'll see why, because I'm going to trim it up. And so I want more than I need so I can figure out how many little strips I want. Okay, so now I'm gonna ink this up, and I'm gonna do something a little bit different, because with my example, I just stamped it with one color. Now I'm gonna show you a little bit different way. So I'm getting my Highland Heather out as well. And this is other fun that you can have. If you have 2 shades of a color, you can ink up with your lighter color. Okay, so I'm inking it up with my Fresh Freesia, which is a little bit lighter or brighter purple. So this is an extra step, but it's worth it. Now I'm taking my sponge dauber and I'm putting some Highland Heather on it. And I'm just going to dauber that darker color in just a couple spots. It may not even look it's going to be a subtle look, I believe. I haven't even tried this, so we'll see. Now the strips I'm going to cut, I want to see most of the trunk of the tree. See, I told you that's pretty subtle. You can see a little bit of different color, but it's not real obvious. Now, I might try getting out my gorgeous grape and seeing how that looks. Because Highland Heather isn't too much darker. So now I'm getting out my gorgeous grape again, because I didn't know what the Highland Heather was going to look like. But all right, so I'm going to ink it up with Fresh Freesia first. get my sponge dauber out. And now I have gorgeous grape. Tickle in my throat. I'm sponging towards the center of a couple of spots. I'm going to overlap this a little bit and stamp down. Hi, do you have fun?
Yeah.
Jacob literally came, I made him a sandwich and he left immediately.
That's what I asked him to do.
He did, he listened. It's a beautiful thing to see your teen kids become a man. A lot of you saw my little post last night. I finally got my senior pictures that we took in October from my friend who took those, and was just looking over his pictures and just lamenting over how he used to cuddle with me, and he wouldn't get out of bed when he was scared. He would just yell out, "Mom!" But how, you know, he called me, he called Mommy. And now he still hugs me, but he towers over me. My head's like in his armpit. He's a huge 6'3". And he still loves me, and he still needs me in different ways, but it's just kind of, I don't know, it's just bittersweet. You guys know. Most of you watching have kids that are grown, and you get what I'm saying. And some of you, if you don't have kids that are grown, just cherish it all. Cherish all the little memories, because my baby now is 6, and he goes to school, and I don't have him with me all the time, and there's times I really miss him. But it is nice to have some alone time too. All right, see if I can get one more tree on there. All right, so I overlapped that. Now you're gonna see the magic of cutting into strips. All right, they're a little bit better with the gorgeous grape. You can see a little more dimension, right? Where I sponged and I daubered some of that darker color. Doesn't that look pretty? Just with a little bit of a darker shade. Okay, so I'm gonna take out my little mini trimmer. It's so cute. And I just want to get just little strips, so like 3/4 strips, 3/4 inch strips of mostly the trees. So I'm gonna trim down till I can see the trunk, and then 3/4 inch. So I'm hoping I got 5 of them, I think. Hoping that will be enough. I like that one. And it doesn't have to be perfectly straight either, but it's kind of nice when they're a little bit straight. Okay, so now you're seeing why I wanted why I had more cardstock than I needed. All right, I'll actually do some of the trimming by hand, because now I kind of want to line them up and see. They don't all need to be the same length. I do want to get 5 in here, so I might make some of these skinnier. So some I'm even cutting at a little bit of an angle. Oh, hang on, that's my son. honey.
Are you doing your video?
I am. So I will hug you later. Let's see, this one could be a little thinner. I really like the shading on that one. That one might be my center one. And I'm not going to trim all of them at angles either. This is where, man, you can just do about whatever you want with these. So my end ones are going to be skinnier. I'm going to trim this one up a little. And when you're making the door, what? Okay. And throw away my scraps. So you see some are longer, some are shorter. I kind of want the center one to be the longest. Make this one a little bit skinnier. You know, I'm just making it up as I go here. When you're making it scrappy, it doesn't have to look perfect. So fun. All right, so the ones on the outsides are kind of the shortest. This one's pretty much the longest one. And isn't that fun? A little bit of a different look. And then on all the scraps, we'll make those pop up and put one on the top and one on the bottom of each of the scraps. Now, part of the reason that I chose vanilla is because I'm gonna tie some let me trim this down just a little bit. I'm gonna tie some lace into my bow. And the lace is a little bit vanilla. It's got a vanilla tint to it. So, not that you would have to do that, but I'm really gonna try to be almost done when my other boys come home. One sheet of dimensionals done. If you don't have lots of dimensionals, you need lots of dimensionals. I order dimensionals almost every order. Not every order, but almost. So it's like a little cluster of, a little forest of trimmed trees here. I pulled up mini ones, so I'm kind of putting 3 now. One in the middle, since they're the smaller ones. And they don't have to be, since I've cut them at angles too, they don't have to be straight up and down. They're just kind of wherever you want them to be. 1, 2, and 3. And literally all of my little mini dimensionals are not falling into my garbage. They're all laying on the floor. That's why they end up all over my stairs. The backs of dimensionals, you guys find those all over, maybe your pets if you have pets, all over the stairs, everywhere. Backs of glue dots and dimensionals, I find those everywhere. Okay, so that would look cool by itself, but now we're gonna make a cool triple bow. We're gonna use 3 ribbon. But I'm going to show you how, and I've shown you with this ribbon. This is probably one of my favorite ribbon. This, let me find what it's called. Because it's in all, I even have it tied on my annual catalog. It is all in the newest in colors. It's just really gorgeous ribbon. And I feel like it's the easiest to cut in half because it doesn't shred like crazy. And even if it's a little off, the center is more sheer. Here they are. So in the annual catalog on page 139, this open weave ribbon, it is an evening evergreen, fresh freesia, pale papaya, polished pink, and the soft succulent. I got all of the colors because it's just gorgeous ribbon. So it's called open weave ribbon. I love it. So I cut this. All of these are about the length of my arm. Okay, just to give you, I don't know how long it is, but that's my measurement. I often use my arm and as measurement for how long I want a ribbon to be. Okay, so I'm holding the ribbon between my pointer finger and my middle finger, and then holding what I've cut already with my thumb and my ring finger as I just try to go down the center the best I can. But again, like I said, the center of this ribbon is so sheer. If you go off a little bit more on one side, you're not going to notice as well. But the awesome thing about cutting this in half is now you can make 2 of these triple bows. Actually, one will just be a double bow because I'm not going to cut the lace in half. The lace will be the only one I don't cut in half. Almost done. Bam. All right, so now I have this ribbon to make another bow with. And this is pretty thick too. This is also in pale papaya. I thought it pairs well with the fresh freesia. So I'm cutting this in half just because it is like super thick ribbon. This almost cuts through like butter. This is like nice and easy to cut through. Now it's gonna shred a little bit, but I like when ribbon shreds because it looks more shabby chic kind of look. So to me, it's cool. So if you don't like when your ribbon shreds, then don't cut in half. Although if you don't like it, that open weave doesn't shred too bad. But there is some ribbon that shreds more. And this would be it. Now what you can do is peel off a couple layers of that ribbon. And you can even use some of this that you trimmed off for some really fine, I'll find a way to use this. So I'm not even gonna throw that away. Because you can use that on a card too. Just have to be careful with it. But the shorter little pieces that came off, I'm not gonna use those. All right, now I tried to cut these around the same length. Now I haven't been doing these bows for very long, but you wanna put them all 3 together. You leave a little bit of space for the ends of your bow, and then you make 1 loop, then 2 loops, then 3 loops, and I'm just holding it with my thumb. It's a little bit more challenging. I would start, if you're doing this for the first time, I would start with just 2 ribbon together, not 3, because this is a little bit more challenging. I hadn't tried this yet, so bear with me. But I think it's so cool with the triple. Maybe I should have made it a little bit longer than my arm too. Okay, so now I'm gonna take all 3 of those around my finger and around those bow ends. And this is a tricky part too, because you have to keep all the ribbons together. And I'm gonna put it through my hole. Oh, here come my elementary boys. I only have 1 more card to show you guys. this bow takes a little bit longer than normal. All right, so you just want to make sure you pull that through, hold the ends, pull that tight. You might need to pull each one to make sure you got them all tightly pulled. And isn't that pretty? So that's when, and I didn't even do it evenly. I only got 2 on one end and then 3 on the other. And I think I want that because I want it to be able to kind of drape down over. I'm going to put it up in the corner so we can keep all that fun fringe. And I'll put a saying somewhere different. Glue dots are your friend when you're using bows. So I'm going to put a couple glue dots on the back of my knot. One rolled up on me, so we're going to do 3 actually. And we're going to put that right in the corner. Now, a big bow like this, I probably wouldn't mail this card. You probably want to put this in a gift bag for somebody or a card that you would hand to someone, because especially with the lace in there, it makes it pretty big, a big bow. But isn't that so pretty? I like those colors together too. 4 recesses. Wow. That's funny. All right, just trimming off a little bit of the ends. Isn't that pretty? I'm not going to add a very big saying to this because I love how big the ribbon is. So I probably won't do a big, this one says Amazing You in silver foil, and then I put vellum behind it over the bow. Where this one has the purple trees and a purple pale papaya and lace ribbon. I might do a little saying down here. So we'll see how I make that different. I'll show pictures of the finished project. Okay, last one. My Aunt Kathy actually made this for a card swap. And so I love the different fun folds when we can use different fun folds. So I'm going to show you how to make this card, and it's pretty easy and self-explanatory, but still, I'll show you how to do it. Alrighty. So all you need for your card base on this card actually is just cut it 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, because you'll be laying down your designer paper on top of that and it will fold in this way. So you get a score tool out. And I wanted to show you one more, but you guys hanging in here? All right, 4. We're going to score 4 inches. Oh wait, I forgot 2. 2 inches first. 2, because you want them to fold back. 2, 4, and then 8. So I'm going to pull out my thing, because you want 4 inches to be in the center. So I'm going to pull it out to 8. So 2, 4, 8, and then 10. All right, so pretty easy measurements to remember where you want them scored. And I want the wood grain to be on the inside. I'm trying to see where I scored. feel like I'm, oh. One of mine doesn't score as well as the other. Then at those 2-inch spots, because it's exactly half of the 4, you're going to fold those back. So right now it looks like all the wood, kind of the wood grain background, but you'll see how we'll make it not look like that. All right, so now on these corners, we're going to trim off triangles. And what we trim off, we'll then use. So don't throw away what you cut off too. All right, so I've got my score line lined up with where I'm going to cut. And then I want to cut it at an angle. I'm going to try to use the score line and then because I'm hoping this is going to help me cut the same size triangle. So I've got it on the score line at this mark, and then I'm cutting it down to there. Okay. Now, you can either just measure this on this side and cut it in the same way, or let me see. Which way does it match up? This way. So I just want to make sure that I do it the same way. So now I'm doing it the opposite. The score line is down at that mark where I cut. And then I'm cutting to the top line. And that should be around the same of what I cut, because we're cutting off the opposite side. So that looks like it's about the same triangle there. And if it's not perfect, you know what? It's okay. All right, so we're cutting off those little triangles, but we're going to use those. Okay, so already because we cut off those triangles, now you can see the pattern on there. And then we're going to add the triangles down here. Gotta find which way they work best there. We'll add the triangles down at the bottom, so we'll tape on. Then all 4 corners, you can see the design. You can use Tombow glue if you want. Hang on, I want to make sure I've got it facing the right way. I don't know why this feels like it's not right, but I think it is. And this one should fit in that corner. We're going to tape that down on here in the corner. This is the Heart and Home, I think it's called Heart and Home designer paper. All right, and because this is trimmed, this piece was trimmed at 5 1/4 to fit inside, and then we've scored it so that you've got a section that's 4 inches. It'll fit right inside of a regular sized card base, the background. So all I have to do is tape down your designer paper on the back, line that up, center it, and there should be about the same amount of space on the top, the bottom, and the sides. Isn't that a fun different fold? Okay, and then what you can do is add, and we'll stamp the butterfly. I'm going to ink it up in fresh freesia, so it's going to match the same color. Isn't that cute? And then we can cut that out. And I think I want to see in how small, if I punch it out with a 2-inch, I think I can do that. It's a little bit smaller than the plant one because I want to add it onto, because there's a little bit of gray in the wood there. The 2-inch circle fits inside these doilies a little better. Doesn't that look pretty? So I used the 2-inch circle punch rather than this one. I think is 2.5 inches, the plant one. And I'll pop that up with some dimensionals. Guys, time just flies when we're having fun, doesn't it? Okay, now I can put dimensionals on wherever I want on the back of the butterfly, but now on my doily, you only want to put some adhesive on one side because you don't want to seal it shut, the adhesive. So I'm only going to put it on, I want the butterfly to kind of go like that. So I'm going to take my adhesive and only go down one side. And I'm just going to tape it on that side. Make sure. Center that. Oh, got a little bit of tape. All right. Because it did that, I'm going to, there's a little bit of tape peeking out. I didn't want that to happen, but I'm going to take some scrap. Take some scrap fresh freesia. And we'll pretend I could stamp a little flower or something on the inside too. And be like, yeah, I meant to do that. Isn't that so pretty? An extra edition. Oh shoot, now that doesn't open as much. Well, darn it. Hang on. Let's see. I should think through these things. Hang on, hang on. Do I have enough for another circle? We're making all kinds of fun mistakes today. Okay, had just enough for another circle. God must have wanted me to fix this. Okay, so I'm putting adhesive just on this side of the doily then. And taping it on that side so it can still kind of open, but what I'll do is score that or fold it. I should have scored it. So it's just folded so it will still open up. There. So then it looks like something else is popping out. Like, wow, impressive. when it was just me trying to cover up a mistake. So isn't that fun? So that's a fun, different fancy fold. So again, it's just scored at 2, 4, and then 8 and 10 inches. And then you can make this little fun fold. And then I could add another layer of, I'd probably use my scalloped, my contour scallops and add a layer inside to make it pretty and fancy since I've got the doily on there. So I'll show you that finished project as well. But isn't that fun? Just a little bit different look. So that we've got the butterfly, the plant, and then the trees. And they are just fun to work with. So I had one more card. Let's see if you can bear with me because I almost have this done. I wanted to show you because somebody else, I think it was Melody Hyde, did some really cute cards with the little pieces in, it's a stamp set I showed you guys a few weeks ago. This Hello Beautiful that's got the hexagon dies and stuff. And then it's got this saying, first of all, you're amazing. And I think I need to get that one out to finish this because that goes really perfectly then with sorry if that paused on you a little bit. I just looked. I hope it hasn't been very long since my camera said my battery is close to dying. So hopefully we can make this last. All right. So I'm going to get my words wet first because this is watercolor paper that I cut out the U and the R with. And then I have, there was pale papaya on here, but then I also put Calypso Coral. So I'm going to start on the bottom. I want the bottom to be the darkest. And then move my way up. So the whole word will get colored. It just will be lighter on the top. So kind of an ombre look. I'm going to add a little bit. Where'd my Calypso Coral go? Because I got it so wet. There we go. I do want the bottom to be the darkest. Oh, I know what happened there. It's resisting. The R I cut out of where I had heat embossed the tree, so it's resisting the color. Well, that's okay. It'll still look cool. I was just wondering why it wasn't getting colored. Well, that's why. I cut over where it was embossed. Okay, so I'm gonna let those dry. I'm gonna stamp, first of all, You're Amazing on just white. I think I can make that fit here. And we'll stamp it in black. This is the last one, guys. Way to stick with me if you're still here. And if some of you were asking questions, I have lost the comments again. I don't know why Facebook does that. And then sometimes I go back and check the replay and I'm like, oh my goodness, you guys were asking all kinds of questions. So again, if you are, I'm not ignoring you. Facebook is just not letting me see them right now. Where did I put my paper snips? They are covered by all my pile of stuff here. Okay, so I'm going to cut this pretty close to the words. I don't need your because I've got UR. So we're going to throw away your because the words you are going to fill in that. And I'm trimming this down. The mini dimensionals are going to be useful with these trimmed down words. So first of all, now we can put the UR, and I'm going to put glue dots on the back of my watercolored paper. I didn't get them too wet, so they're mostly dry. You might want to wait till they're completely dry before you put the glue dots on, but you want to put at least a couple. I'm going to put 3 on each just to be safe. And then I'm almost done, guys. But I'm telling you, I love these words. I'll take some pictures because I want to keep playing with these words too, of more cards that I make with it. So you'll get inspired with even more. Because man, I would spend 3 hours here with you guys if I could. But you know, there's something like feeding my children that needs to be done. So overrated. Food. We don't need to eat food today, right? That's actually one thing on Wednesdays when I'm just working in here and trying to get things planned for you guys that I really don't think about food very much. That is one thing I love about my hobby. Sometimes I do snack a little, but not all the time. All right, so this is where you cover up pretty much the whole, that background piece, but it's fun how it gives you a little bit of shading on there. And because the circle is in that dazzling paper, I was like, ooh, I'm gonna add the shadowing of the words in here too. So I'm putting some dimensionals on the back of the bedazzling paper. So first of all, let's see, how do I want to place it? I think I want to do the U there. U, and then R there. This is also for all of you guys. You are all so amazing. So first of all, you are, let's see, you are, you are amazing. You gonna hit a bucket of balls, Colt?
Yes.
Awesome. You are amazing. My boys are amazing too. Love them. There. First of all, you are amazing. Who wouldn't want a sparkly card like that? How fun is that? And this little yellow pattern, I mean, you could find designer paper that you like, but I just used that small little dot. So that's fun. You can do repeated patterns. I'm going to do another one with leaves, kind of similar to that, and show you how fun you can have with these little pieces. Lots of fun. All right, that's it. That's my show, and I'm sticking to it. Love you guys. Thanks so much for visiting me today. I hope you're inspired to create and have fun. And if you haven't ordered yet this month, I would highly recommend you get some of these fabulous colors that are going to be gone. They will retire, and so this month and next are the last couple months to order some of our in colors. Just Shade's one of them too. But Again, use the host code here, R4WE2TNM, if you want. Thanks. I don't know why I called it show, but yeah, it is kind of a show. And to me, it's more worth your time than YouTube, right? Although I do have a YouTube channel. I guess there's certain things we all think are worth. But yes, I'm so glad you guys came. Thanks for watching. And I hope you liked all the different ways that you can color and use these stamps. There really are a lot of ways to color in and use these stamps. They are a lot of fun. And this stamp set, I think we got for free when we signed up for On Stage. So I love as a demonstrator that I get stamps for free with some of our events and stuff. So let me know which cards you like the best. Which colors do you like when I play with? I really do try to use different colors because I don't want to get stuck in just one, but the Pale Papaya is a really beautiful color. I love that. The Polished Pink is awesome. Fresh Freesia, I think you see, I love. But hope you guys have a fabulous rest of your Wednesday, hump day. I might actually come live on Friday if I have some time, extra time, just to show some extra little things because next week I will be gone for spring break. So enjoy your spring breaks, everyone. And I won't see you next week on Wednesday, but like I said, I might try to come in on Friday just for some extra fun if I have time. So look for me on Friday for a possible bonus live video. All right, love you guys. Have a great Wednesday. Bye.